Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Nikon, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Rocket Broadheads, RTP Outdoors, Trophy Rock, Spot Hog Releases, Wilderness Athlete, Viking Solutions, and Realtree.
Day 20, November 8th. I can't believe we made it through yesterday without anybody on the pro staff killing, at least not that I'm aware of. There's going to be a couple days here where things are in high gear. It always works like that. Now you're looking at, there's still a few mature bucks on the move looking for does, but what you're going to get now are those hot does that are going to bring everything your way. You'll go from seeing nothing in the morning or even 1 hour to seeing every buck in the area the next time you turn around. And the reason is going to be there's a hot doe there somewhere. So it almost stands to reason now to hang closer to thick cover near doe bedding areas, morning and evening. We've got these little micro plots that we hunt all the time, and that's what I'm sitting on right now. This is the same spot where I killed Skinny last year, and I think that was November 10th. And he was chasing a hot doe into this food plot, this little micro plot. First time I saw that deer on the hoof all season, so maybe we can get some type of a replay with this lone oak buck. Haven't seen him yet on the hoof. We've had enough trail cam pictures of him in daylight to keep me optimistic. In fact, I'm going to post a couple of them right here just to remind you what this deer looks like and really remind myself. Sometimes you got to look at these pictures to keep your motivation level high. He's a big, beautiful 8-pointer, chocolate brown rack. He looked really good coming across this food plot this morning. You know, we'd love to lay eyes on this big 8-pointer just to keep the motivation and the enthusiasm level high. Closing in on 11 o'clock. In the morning, it was a beautiful morning to be in the tree, no doubt. Unfortunately, it didn't have enough of the rut in the air to produce much action for us. I don't know why. I think we saw 4 does and 3 fawns this morning, and not a single buck. you would think on the 8th of November that you would, if you had does, you would have some bucks at least trailing through and checking them out, even if they weren't mature bucks. So that was a little bit disappointing. I'm not exactly up to speed on what that was all about, but you're going to have days like that, I guess, no matter what. The doe, we had one of the does come down, and they're just so dang spooky. I won't even say they're spooky. They're just so suspicious and so wary that no matter what, it seems like they eventually find us if they stick around for very long. And they couldn't smell us. The wind was perfect. We had all the scent elimination stuff going our way. And I don't think they really saw movement, or she saw movement, because we weren't doing much up in the tree. So I wonder if, or Drake was wondering if she just saw the breath, the condensation of our breath as we were up in the tree breathing. But she kind of got onto us, so I figured, we got to kill a certain number of does anyway, and that she'd been out long enough that there's no way that there was a buck following her. So I went ahead and shot the doe. We're going to eat this one as soon as we can because Drake and I are both hungry. We've been talking ever since she went down about getting the back straps off this doe and getting them on the grill. So it'll either be today or tomorrow that this doe is going right straight to the grill. For the afternoon hunt, we're going to try something a little bit different. Last year about this time, we started hunting the edge of a grass field, and it seemed like the bucks were pushing the does out into that, those grassy areas, or else the does were leading the bucks out there to get away from the competition, to get away from the bucks that were in the traditional deer habitat up in the timber. So we're going to sit the edge of that tonight, and it's fairly close to where this lone oak buck is living, so hopefully he'll pop out. When you see me next, I'm going to be preparing to work my way along a creek and up into that grass field. As I promised this morning from the tree stand, we're heading back into, it's a pretty good little hike to get back in there, but it's an open grassy area. And we hunted there quite a bit last year, several times, and it just seemed like the bucks worked out into there with the does. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if the does led the way or if the bucks push them, but it sure was a hot spot during this phase of the rut last year, so we're going to try it. That might be a good sort of trend that we might see, is that as these bucks get with does, they might move into this more open country. I've definitely seen it in other in other places that I've hunted. After we did that interview in the tree this morning, we went over to get the doe, and there was a buck chasing the doe right there. I mean, they were trying to come up the trail that the doe was on. We didn't get any footage of it. So that was a little bit after 11, and then we were walking back to the truck, and we saw another nice buck chasing the doe right off the side of the road. So midday was definitely, at least on our farm today, would have been the time to be out there. We had some stuff we had to do in the office, but had we been able to stay on that stand, we'd have for sure seen a buck, because they were heading up the trail right into that little skinny food plot. So we'll see if the activity carries over into this afternoon. If there was a hot doe, we're not too far from that spot, so we might get lucky and see some pretty good activity this afternoon. And I'm, like I said, either way we can get to see a lot of country, and hopefully we'll lay eyes on something that will get us fired up for maybe a change in strategy, or maybe we'll see that lone oak buck. So that he's running again. The doe is running again. He's followed. She stopped and squatted. Oh yeah. I don't see any other bucks chasing around. But there was a fair amount of action this evening, which is good to see. It's kind of what we were hoping for here, but it was just the wrong bucks, unfortunately. That last one that popped out, I don't know anything about that deer. I think it was just a 3-year-old, from what I could tell looking at his body. It's going to be a little bit tricky getting out of here without spooking those does. We're probably going to have to go out the opposite direction that we came in and get into the grass and work our way out that way. Definitely a spot we're going to come back to at some point. This is what we saw last year hunting the same spot. A lot of rutting type activity here. You can see a lot of country. Tomorrow morning we're going to have a lot colder temperatures and a north wind. So I believe we're going to be back up on that ridge, that doe bedding area where we've been last couple mornings. It's always a good spot, and right in the middle of that big chocolate horned 8-pointers, right in the middle of his range. So check back again tomorrow. We're going to catch up with that buck at some point. We keep talking about him. One of these days we're going to see him, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.